Alright, greetings folks, Jay here, and for today's topic, I am going to be discussing goth YouTubers and e-begging. And additionally, I am going to be kind of calling them out for advertisements also. Now, to start things off, YouTube, social media, etc., with the advent of it and everything else, I think it's a cool thing. I think it's awesome that, when it first came out, there was a lot of sketches, comedy, stuff like that, right? And eventually, people like myself are able to go onto YouTube, make a video, and then have, it's a platform where anyone from any part of the globe can check it out and hear their story or hear what they have to say. So I think in general it's a cool thing. I think it's a good thing. But in particular, I'm going to be looking at goth YouTubers. Now, for me personally, I had no clue, all right, what was going on as far as like YouTubers. I guess maybe it was because during my time in the military, I just did not have time for that. But when I got back up here in Philly, I had it where I had a few discussions with folks, and some friends of mine, he was talking to me, and he's kind of like, oh yeah, man, like these goth YouTubers and these makeup tutorials. Oh my goodness, like it's ridiculous and all this stuff. But so my first video I ever did was kind of like a satire on it. I don't want to say a mockery, but a satire on it. And I'm not going to knock it. If somebody's extremely talented with doing their makeup, go for it. Go to town. If you have a particular brand that you think is a good product, go for it. Nothing wrong with that. I think where the line is drawn, it's the type of thing where early on, these goth YouTubers, and that's the thing, I don't know the names of 99% of these folks. There's a few names that I know floating out there, but because honest to goodness, I just don't pay attention to them. Like, I'm involved in my scene. I enjoy the music already. It's not really my thing, personally. So, but, anywho, I think early on, like, when you check out some of the early videos, from what I've been told and from what I've seen with a couple of them, a lot of folks are just telling their story. They're like, oh, hey, I grew up here, I got into the scene this way, and then they talk about music, they talk about bands. I think that's a cool thing. But what started to happen after that is you see a lot of these folks getting sponsored and making advertisements, and essentially they're becoming billboards for brands. And I'm not trying to knock it too hardcore. I don't want to sound like that elitist guy. I'd rather see myself as, like, not quite an elitist, maybe a little bit of an elitist, but I'd like to see myself more of that, like, the mentorship, maybe not big brother, but like big bat, that type of thing. And I wouldn't even consider myself like an elder god yet. I really wouldn't. I don't think I'm at that point, especially, experience, but who knows? I don't know. But the bottom line is that you have these brands like Killstar and what's the other one, Blackcraft or whatever, and they're these commercial brands, right? They're kind of like the new Hot Topic or whatever. And you have these goth YouTubers that are getting, thousands of dollars of free crap, and they're just like, they're walking billboards. So they went from their early videos where they're talking about music and how they grew up in the scene and everything else to advertisements. Like, oh, you have to get this. And the problem with this is that there are a lot of young people that are impressionable that are checking out these videos. When I was young and getting into the scene, you didn't have that. You had it where you found out about the Goth Club and you went to it and experienced it firsthand. That's how I got into everything, and that's what I experienced. But nowadays, you have it where YouTube, folks from all over the world can see it and learn about it, but at the same time, a lot of the young people, they don't know, and a lot of the teenagers nowadays, YouTube's the big thing, and they check it out, and that's how they learn about, the subculture. So going along with that, you have these brands that are targeting these folks and making the advertisements. Now look, I'm not going to knock you if you own a shirt or a dress or pants from these brands, okay? Look, I am far from that, all right? As somebody that was, didn't exactly have a lot of money growing up, you did what you could in the scene, okay? I totally get it. But I'm also saying, hey, look, there's more than just these two big brands, okay? Look, I get it. Your local goth shop, if there even is one, okay? Like, I understand. Like, I'm from a larger city, and between here, New York, and a few other locations in the Northeast, there are options, and I get it. They're pretty darn expensive, okay? I get it. I know a lot of shops have closed down over the past 20 years due to the internet, the rise of internet shopping, and look, I kind of get it, all right? A lot of those shops were super expensive. So here you are, you have internet shopping, and you can buy these, you can buy products, some of the same products, for a much cheaper price. So I get it 100%. As a goth on a budget, I get it, okay? But what I'm saying is, give it a shot, okay? At least learn about all these other brands, and look, I also get this too. I know a lot of times you hear the more elitist folks that are like, oh, you gotta, DIY. That's the true goth. You gotta make it yourself. Ugh. Guess what? Okay, somebody like me that has zero skills in, whatever crafting or seaming, like clothing, yeah, that's not gonna work, okay? I get it. Not everybody can make their own clothes. If you can, that's awesome, okay? Props to you. Not only is that awesome, but that is something that's worthy of being put on these YouTube channels, okay? If you can make your own stuff, and if you want to market it like that, that belongs on YouTube, okay? But the thing is, when it's these direct advertisements, and I hate to use the term, but selling out, it's kind of a shame, in my humble opinion. And honestly, I think it's pretty destructive to our scene, because a lot of the local shops, a lot of the local folks that are making their own stuff, they're suffering because, these young impressionable folks, and they're not necessarily all young, it's just the folks that, are learning about the subculture through YouTube, they just don't know. So that's what I encourage everybody. Look up your local shop, or the other thing is, if you're traveling, okay? Like last year, I was in Germany, and I made sure to visit shops when I was in Berlin, Leipzig, and in Dresden. So, and I got some cool stuff at each shop. So, take advantage of it when you're doing travels. Whether it's in the U.S., abroad, etc. Take advantage of that. Check it out. Google, goth shop. City. Whatever. Berlin goth shop, or Helsinki goth shop, or London goth shop, or Los Angeles goth shop. So just check it out. It's worthwhile. Trust me. Moving forward, okay. For folks that have those talents, that are making their own clothes, etc., put that out there on YouTube. That's awesome. I think that's what grows the scene. A lot of YouTubers are, putting out music. I think that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with promoting your favorite band, and especially new releases. Like, there's so many good, fresh, newer bands coming out, like Son Sombra and a few other names that are out there, but they're cranking out some amazing music. So I think in the underground, it's slowly building with new bands and folks that are, getting into the Gothic subculture. So moving on to the next topic from here, okay? I think it's cool, to kind of conclude with it, I think it's cool that there's people out there that can go onto YouTube, tell their story, okay? Because everybody's story is unique. That's what makes us individuals, and that's what makes us individuals in this subculture. It's cool to tell your story. Wherever you're from, you may have all kinds of experiences. It's cool to tell your story. It's cool to promote, what brands you enjoy, and especially if you make your own attire or have outfits you want to discuss, promote, show off, etc. That's awesome. To me, I tend to give a little look when it's pretty blatant that you're a walking billboard and you're just, you're getting all this free stuff and you're just an advertisement. Look, I get it. You're making money, but come on now. There's young people that just, not just young people, but folks that are getting into the scene at that point, and they're not learning. They're not, they're not getting exposed to the greater part of the subculture. Now going into the next topic, because this is more straightforward. Okay, the whole e-begging thing. Okay, come on now. Look, once again, a lot of times you have it where there's impressionable folks. They have it where they watch these videos and they connect. They feel a connection with the person doing the video. They're like, oh my gosh, I relate to them. Oh, their story, and they get into it. Okay, because people's stories are interesting. Okay, I don't blame them. But because of that impressionableness, oh my gosh, like taking advantage of them, that is nothing but destructive to our scene. Okay, taking advantage of these folks, it's a terrible thing. Okay, their hard-earned money. I can imagine the goth kid, teenager working at McDonald's, just making ends meet, right? And they're sending you, or these YouTubers, their entire paycheck, okay? And just so that you can, go on vacation, go to a concert, or, whatever, get random crap, okay? You're taking advantage of them, okay? That's not right. That's messed up, okay? And on that note, I should put my PayPal out there, so, if you're watching this, you can send me all of your money. Just kidding. Keep your money, okay? Keep your hard-earned money, okay? Get into the music, buy the records or, the album, CDs, whatever. Or, I'm showing my age. But, download legally, purchase it, support the artist, support local businesses that are, or local goth businesses, local scenes, etc. Support those, support the events, okay? But come on. Keep your money. And so it's tough because these especially the younger crowds, okay, and people, they complain about how our scene is dying, right? That, oh, goth is dead or whatever, and come on now, like, it's dying because these folks are getting taken advantage of and they're getting turned off by the subculture. That's not how it should be, okay? And they're impressionable. You have, whatever, if they're young guys, they're just like, they'll look up to somebody as a mentor, or, if it's, or they're attracted to them or whatnot, and then, young ladies, they're looking up to, the same deal, mentorship, and they want to be, if it's a female YouTuber, they want to be them, and all that, and they're getting taken advantage of, and, it's just not right, okay? So the e-begging thing, y'all gotta stop that, okay? Make a living somehow else. Maybe whatever, all the Blackcraft and the Killstar crap that you're getting, just sell that on eBay, okay? Like, sell that crap on eBay. All right, it's ridiculous, okay? Shame on you, okay? And that's what's going to cause the biggest detriment to our scene, okay? So with all that being said, okay, YouTube is a great platform for the subculture to grow, new music to be promoted, new albums, or even just old music, something you're getting into. It's a great platform for the music, to discuss, you know, the literature, whatever, and new fashion, you know, whatever. Like, it's great to show that off. But, you know, selling out to major corporations just to be a walking billboard and taking advantage of impressionable folks by e-bagging, that's got to stop. So with that being said, y'all take care, and until next time.